stand in my way, suffer the consequences! Welcome to your doom! Our enemies are destined to fall!
Okay. Yeah. So you wanted to do... Wait, you don't have your headset set up, right? Yeah, because were you having trouble with my dad with the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I need to change the, my... Yeah, change, yeah, there we go. So mine will be muted to you. I mean, I won't be pushing the button anyway, so it doesn't matter, but if you press your push to talk button, then it'll come through over here. Yep. No, that's cool. So while that's going on, I can kind of try to explain what all this is. So first of all, yeah, I don't have any of those on me. I'm gonna get back to the airship first. Let's see here. This is still upper macro. Let's see, where's my... It's all the way down there. So this is the airship, which is sort of like our guild house. That's just the way they decided to do the system for it. It is instanced, so you don't get to see these side by side with other airships, and they have different types of airships, different sizes, which you can put different things in. From here you can teleport to a lot of the other areas of the game. Here, the way this system works, they have a lot of buffs you can get with like their spells. I've got different spells in here I can cast that give me buffs, but there's also guild buffs that are specific to how you've set your airship up. So ours has 4 levels to it plus a cargo. Each one of these has different modules that you add to the ship. They give you buffs, so like it takes a second when I go in here. No, I'm on the first floor. But yeah, so like this lets us do some crafting stuff. This is a buff. I can't remember which one this one does, but some of these, like, you know, these are just ones that give buffs. I think you can buy stuff from her. No, okay. a lot of these just give buffs, but like some of these have more. Like, so this is if you die, sort of like a where you attune to. You can choose to. There's a spirit binder in every tavern, but you can also get one in your ship. So you can set your spawn point to the guild ship if you want. And here are where you can buy a lot of hirelings. I'm not going to do the tour of the full ship right now, but just to get and give you an idea of how all this works. Let's go up here. So from all those modules, you can just click on this amenity bar, and you get all buffs just added to you. You do get pets. Nick has tips, which is this. Gelatinous cube. Ooze monster. It's supposed to be sparkling, but there's swirly marble things. Buff Slayer. So that's without that buff. But you can see I've still got a few active ones. Both of our characters we're going to now are spellcasters. See a lot of just things that burn around. He also has a level monk set across class, so he can use some. Yeah, he's got levels of monk to do some abilities. Did you set up your push to talk? Okay. No, you don't. No. So I figured to get things started, we just run around, push the cop. Show a wilderness area first. So from the airship you can teleport to pretty much any of the major areas of the game. Nick would also want me to make a mention that there's a spell teleport spell teleport and greater teleport. And the only civilized way to travel is like this, that if you as in DDO terms, an arcane spellcaster, you can slot that spell. He has the ability to switch out his spells, kind of like how a blue mage does per dungeon, per rest. Or if he's in like an open area like this, he can do it. If you're in a wilderness area, you can't change them out. Myself as a sorcerer, I can change my spells, but it's difficult. I have to pay somebody to swap my spells out. So that's the main difference between a wizard as he is and myself as a sorcerer, is that he can get scrolls and learn spells from them and change them out as he goes, whereas I can only learn them by level. Since I'm at level 20 heroic, level 9 epic, once you get to level 20, you stop learning spells as a sorcerer. You only get like special abilities that are considered epic spell casting, like Hellball here, which I will show you. So normally your first menu will be a local area that's close to your region that you're in with your airship. Your airship doesn't technically travel from place to place, like it will tell it where to go. That's supposed to be what this is. Yeah, if you fall off, you travel to a random zone. But we can also, because we have the amenity for the far shifter, you can teleport us to these other more remote regions. So I can do the Orchard of the Macabre. And Nick is mentioning he can get there with the use of a scroll. I did not choose this slot teleport, that's why I cannot teleport, and I wholly rely on the airship to be able to do so. I do have Dimension Door, though, which lets me sort of do... It's this game's version of Return, where you can return to the start of the dungeon. They just made it a spell, so there's no cooldown or anything like that. So where we're at now, the main game takes place in like a metro area called Stormreach. It's like a fantasy portside town. This is to the north. You have like that area I was running through before with all those graves, or tombs. It was the main graveyard-esque area, and this is even further north than that. So this is a high-level area that Nick and I are looking to sort of wrap up our epic levels. I'm really close to epic level cap right now, so I'm trying to wrap that up. When we go in here, though, it is a pretty challenging area, so I'm going to bring out a hireling, and it's letting me know, because I'm doing a non-cash shop hireling, I need to be close to the entrance. But we can summon them out, and they have these little, their own toolbars. Normally they're set to be kind of like how Chocobo is to defensive. Their AI is a little weird though. I like to set them to aggressive just so they actually do stuff instead of just sit there and let things hit them. And I will bring out an owlbear, which is a reusable hireling. Normally these are temporary. You buy what they call a contract, and you get to use it for up to, I think, what, an hour? 30 minutes? An hour? Yeah. So normally you can only use these types of hirelings for an hour, but through certain cash shop things or in-game things you can get reusable hirelings like this out there. Nick doesn't like this player because he's difficult. They also sit there. Yeah, I can also sit there. Normally parties go up to 6 people for solo. Like I like to bring out like 5 different hirelings. But when you're in a party of one other person, pretty much cap out of 2 for a total of 6. But like I said, Nick is choosing not to. Oh, is it open up? Alright, so for our buff, DDO has a lot of stuff, so I'm going to do shield, that just defensive, something that lets me jump. Tumble is, you can only do as a spell on yourself, right? You can't cast it on other people. Okay, so I do have Tumble, so I can dodge out of certain spells. Let's see, I need Blur, which will give me sort of dodge kind of idea. Stone Skin to reduce incoming damage. Protection from elements to reduce elemental damage I take. Heroism that gives me spell points and the ability to resist certain spells more effectively. I have invisibility, which I like just because it's fun. As soon as I cast something, then it's gone. Let's see. And then Cloak of Shadows is one of my skill trees. I'm doing the epic skill tree for Rogue because the way this game works, you can cross trees. And it rewards you for unlocking every tree. So this character, I want to max out their stats, so I'm going to have to go through all of these different epic skill trees. I've already done these 3 on the caster side, with this being the sorcerer tree, this being the wizard-esque tree, this being the bard tree, and then this being like the rogue. So I'm working on this one right now. So that's what gives me Cloak of Shadows, and I can do, which protects me from light damage and dark, or negative energy damage as they call it in this game. Protection from Evil, which is an AoE, it gives bonus to armor, and then resistance to mind control as well, which is a big thing in this game, unfortunately. It affects NPCs differently than it affects player characters. Once in, we do Resist, which speeds us up. And now I gotta find Nick. So if I look on the mini-map here, I can see him and his hireling out and about. I also see we got a zombie down below that I'm gonna take out. Now, Orchard of the Cob, like I said, is north of the city, and it's supposed to be more of like the outskirts of the graveyard. There's a lot of undead in here, so we're gonna take out a few. That I just used Acid Well, which is an AoE acid ability. It does it's a high level spell, but it's still heroic, but it doesn't require a ton of damage. One of the big things about like things like fireballs and lightning bolts and things like that, a lot of those are reflex based, but this spell in particular uses what's known as a fortitude save. The difference for saves, reflex means your character takes an active maneuver to dodge out of the way of a spell. Fortitude means just that you're kind of like poisons and things like that, where you can try to endure the effect of the spell. They also have a will save, which is mental, where you try to resist the effects of like something that's trying to control you or debilitate you. So most things like a fireball and things like that use a reflex save. Acid Well being one of my stronger spells, using fortitude means it will a lot of enemies will. Now these other ones I keep casting, Acid Arrow, this is a DOT, acid ability, single target. It's notable because it's a long range, and then the other one is Acid Blast, which is like Fireball, but it is a acid version of that spell. It's cast Fireball, which is double damage against that pink triangle that's appeared on that corpse is his ability to control his projectile. Right now it's just a single situation. Yeah, if you know you're going to be fighting a lot of enemies, it's a good spell to equip. Not all
enemies are destined to fall!
Notably for my character being a sorcerer, since I can't change the spell on the fly, I don't really have any things specific to it. My focus is acid damage, so that's why you see a lot of acid and green type spells going around. The advantage though is spec for it. A lot of buffs here, which is all these items right here, they enhance all my acid spells that I go. So as soon as it acid damage, it's going to have a good effect. As you can see, when it sees the reflex save, the monster was able to dodge out of the way. So some monsters I fight are much more frustrating for me than others. For the acid spells I'm using though, for the most part, the Acid Blast and the Acid Arrow, they're under, I get these, you can get them in your spellbook, but you can also get them depending on your skill tree.
This tower rises high above the orchard.
The difference between a spell-like ability and a spell in your spellbook typically is that the spell-like ability casts more quickly and it doesn't use as many spells. Plus, you can enhance the spell without increasing the cost. It always will cost the base amount, so this is 4 spell points or 4 mana, and then Acid Blast is 6. If you look at Acid Well on the other hand, which has all my other things activated, all of these spell enhancement buffs, called meta magic feats, this is costing me 91 spell points, so it's a big difference between 4 and 6. You can see I cap out at 3,000 spell points. So I only cast Acid Well a few times.
Stand in my way. Suffer the consequences!
Yeah, so that's a good demonstration. acid arrow hitting a target from a long range. Now, so Orchard of the Cobb is a wilderness area, which is DDO's implementation of open areas. Basically just...
Welcome to your doom!
And I've got... That's another monitor. Ooh, we got a... so this is a skeletal giant. Really has some abilities. With the red name, he's not really known for his champion enemy-ish. Just nearby. Plus, it's considered random encounter. And you can see it went from 2 to 3 random encounters. Those are as they are. They don't always show up every time you go into a wilderness area. I came from around here. I can check the wiki. So, we are mopping house with a lot of these monsters, just killing them pretty easily. That's notable for a wilderness area. There's no buffs, particular buffs that those enemies get, aside from the difficulty of the area. When, yeah, whereas in dungeons, depending on the difficulty you choose, most of the time, the enemies are going to be a lot more difficult. Sure. Yeah, let's go do it again. That would be actually a pretty good one. So, let's see, I did that. We've got... The voice that keeps talking to me every now and then is my intelligent item. In traditional D&D, that's where it says that sentience, the Inquisitor. D&D, sentience is the item itself. It has, through some means, gained intelligence.
The
so
northern crypts are filled with
to,
cultists, promised the power of death.
Wielder of the weapon. In DDO, they did it by gems, where if you have an item that can be slotted with an intelligence, but you can remove that gem and move it into another weapon. It's just so that you don't lose because weapons do not scale. All weapons do scale. So anyway, yeah, the side effect of the sentient weapons is they will talk to your character from time to time. You trying to find the entrance? Yeah, it's to the west, right over there. So the west entrances are a little bit different. Not all dungeon entrances are in wilderness areas. Some have them, some don't. Some of the dungeons you just get to either in the city or you go to an area that has a bunch of quest entrances to it. The main theme for... I mean, obviously there's a lot of undead for Orchard of the Cobb. We got a bunch of brutes over here. we're just trying to kill enemies as we go. This little counter up here keeps going up, and if that gets to above 400, I'll get some XP for doing that. Now, one notable thing about the race of character that Nick and I are playing as a Warforged, he's technically a Blade Forged, which is a variant of Warforged. As he says, better. I disagree. We can use arcane spells to repair ourselves instead of healing through additional healing spells. The only downside is that because of the trio I'm in for acid, they call it elemental savant with a focus on acid. Capstone.
This goes well.
The capstone ability makes your acid spell stronger, but it also removes what they call living construct. That's what gives us the ability to repair ourselves. So I cannot repair myself by this in terms of ability. This is called elemental apotheosis. The theme is that acid spell becomes stronger. Yeah, so Nick is pointing out that there's likely a rest shrine around here where we can rest to get our spell points rejuvenated. DDO is very cool about spell points. You do not regenerate them. Yeah, normally the item like mana potions are pricey. You can't just buy them in the shop. You have to
Excellent!
So yeah, we look for a rest shrine before we start a dungeon, because when you enter the dungeon, you have what you went in with. Oh boy.
In one the next continues.
I should have been dead. Alright, this is it. So, one of the higher that skull icon party bars. So I will get them rezzed if I can. So I have scrolls.
You will call on me again. What secrets this contains?
Loot, as with other games, is in chests, but this one's weird because you click on it and it shows you what's in the chest. So I just normally just loot everything that's in there. But anyway, so a couple of things happened there. That was another random encounter. There's different kinds where it's like a strong monster, but other times there'll be like waves of enemies like that. When the hireling died, normally only healers can resurrect people. So, like, my favorite soul, which is this class, has true resurrection. Nick's hireling, Erythea, has some resurrection ability. But he and I both can res even as wizards or sorcerers because of scrolls. Now, scrolls of resurrection, or raise dead in this case, are divine spellcasting, which is not what Nick and I do as arcane spellcasters. The only way we're going to be able to do scrolls is if we have what's known as Use Magic Device, which is a very particular skill. If you have enough points in this as you level up, you bypass the ability to use scrolls that are not scrolls and wands and other items that normally your class can't use. So that's why it says on there the chance to activate as 165%. So that basically when a hireling goes down or he dies or anyone in the party dies, all of us in the party except for the owlbears can resurrect people. And Nick is noting that there probably is not a shrine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the wiki online. And, oh, he's checking on... just to see if we can find a shrine. Okay, let's see... Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Huh? Yeah. No, I do. Okay, actually, I see a few of them. I don't... So they are in both the... I'm just double checking. Southwest and southeast sides of the map. Oh, there's one actually near us, yeah. So, let me see where that is. So there's an archipelago. Yeah, you should just follow me. Let's see, that's the entrance. Let me just see where we're due. So we have to head roughly southwest to get there. Now, one thing to note on here, looking at my character, I don't see that air blurry effect, you know, the air currents that were going around my character, which means my blur buff is not active. So I can just look on that. But beyond that, I have a shorter duration spell called Displacement, which is similar, but increases my chance that attacks will miss me. DDO has 5 to 10 different defense mechanics. There's dodge, there's displacement, blur, armor class, what incorporeality, basically take on the traits of so, like bonuses in DDO, or things that buff you from different sources don't stack. But if they give you a distinct type of bonus, it will stack with others. That gets a little more complicated. Alright, so let me see where we're at. We need to go a little bit further east this way. We got mummies, we got zombies. You see all of their names sort of kind of like give you a debuff. I think that's what my hireling has right now, unfortunately.
Enemies are destined to fall!
So the buffs are still because we've been in here so long. That's another... Oh, so if an enemy goes too far, much like an enemy goes where it normally roams in wilderness areas, they will get that little tan icon above their head and walk back where they came from, and they regain their full health and abilities. So it's kind of, you gotta be a little careful sometimes. Alright, let me double check it. too far south. We need to go northwest now. Yeah, I see him. And as my spill bar indicates, I am now out of mana, so I have to be very careful. Huh? So yeah, it's going to be north of this sort of swampy archipelago type area. And I see another random encounter, and we gotta be careful not to... Normally they're red, but that being that yellow means that you can interact with them, and so they might have like a riddle or something that you have to solve. Yeah, so as you can see, a lot of my stuff is grayed out because I can't cast it due to not enough mana, so now I'm limited to most of my spell-like abilities. What grace that video does give you is that you can regenerate up to like 15 spell points. Huh? Yeah, so Nick's mentioning that there is a tree ability that will let you regenerate up to 20% of your spell points, which is pretty good. Alright, so it should be... Okay, let me just double check and see. Alright, so I see that on the map. Let's see. Yeah, we still got a ways to go. Fortunately for me, Nick is leveling a epic skill tree right now that is more aligned with healers, so he has some abilities to heal. Oh, what did you do? No, I know, I'm trying to Oh. Oh, well I guess I activated it.
Welcome to your doom! So this minor red is this glitch, which is D&D context, a spellcaster that traded death for making themselves undead, so they retain their spell. They're looking a lot like cross-between skeleton, but they are very strong, and notably protected area. It might be an intervention, it might be... Fate has sent us down this path. Now let's
And they
explore
make it so
it.
that that part of them is called a phylactery. If you don't destroy the phylactery, they can never truly die. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. We just look at And Nick is busy managing the most perilous plight of this game, and that is the inventory management. They give you a lot of loot, and not a lot of places to put it. The real irony of the situation is while I have inventory issues in 14, I almost never do in video because I constantly sell and move my stuff around. Yeah, so Nick's mentioning that when you reincarnate your character and go back to level 1 to level them up and give them buffs, like permanent buffs, you wind up getting a lot of loot along the way that you want to keep and hang on to because it might be rare or something like that. So, these are the rest shrines. This is where we can literally rest.
Don't tarry too long. Our destiny awaits.
And notably, these are one-time use, almost always. I think normal dungeons you can reuse after, or no, it's casual Cash is the only one. Yeah, so it'll tell me that... Okay, so Wilderness, it'll let you use it after 15 minutes, so that's good. Yep, alright, so Nick's making a very good suggestion that we just cast Invisibility. Yeah, and he's also telling me to set my hires to a passive stance where they won't interact with anybody. I will cast Invisibility on everybody, and we're just going to sneak right past all the enemies and make it to the dungeon entrance so we can preserve much of our experience as possible. We're going to cast haste. There you go. Alright, let's see. Alright, so yeah, our entrance is up there, so I'm going to mark that on my map. So yeah, being a wilderness area, sometimes you walk across plots where there are an undead-themed wilderness area, and there's zombies that can spawn up from the ground if you're not careful in certain areas, like right here, for example. And now we're getting up. Yeah, we're getting a little lag there, but it's sort of lag. Here, let me get you invisibility. You got it? Alright. So we're trying to keep as much of our spell points as we can. This dungeon entrance is a little tricky. You gotta go up to a higher elevation and drop down. So yeah, anyway, the theme of this area is that there's a very, very, very powerful lich that has many, many minions, as you can see, all the monsters in here, that is trying to become a lesser deity or god. And the whole quest chain you deal with here is trying to thwart those, but it's like multiple arcs. There's, what, at least 16 quests.
Heat rises from the menacing entrance to the inferno of the damned.
So yeah, one of this part of the arc, or this arc that Nick and I are exploring the wilderness, we're trying to get some of his former minions to ally with us, to help us in our fight against...
A hoarse voice drifts through the halls. Seek the Flame Guardians. Defeat them all. Then I shall appear.
So now we're in the dungeon. That was the narrator. Every dungeon which has a narrator that talk at checkpoints, letting you know what's going on. And our quest objectives are up here in the top right, where we basically have to figure out what it means to find the North Flame Guardian east, south, and west. Alright, so we're bringing the hirelings back to the rest of it. He's going around buffing everybody right now. Casting buffs on top of themselves. Efficient use of spell abilities. Now this dungeon's kind of a maze, so I'm going to pull up a guide on mine. Let's see, DDO. And I will explain it as we go. Oh, I'm doing tricks. Alright, so looking at my thing, the guide I'm looking at basically has a bunch of numbers throughout the map of the dungeon that basically tell you where you need to go, what order. So the first thing we need to do is go to go west and south. There's going to be an NPC there that is behind a gate. We got to make them angry at us and come open the gate. So we have some...
The flagstones echo beneath your feet, as if there were another chamber below.
So So you'll get little clues like that. It's basically mentioning to you that there's probably an area underneath where we're standing. Sometimes it's indicative of a trap if you notice it, but Nick and I are doing our best impressions of bad rogues and just walking all over it, and it hasn't triggered anything, so it's not likely.
An acolyte is engrossed in some kind of ritual at the end of this hall.
Yep. So there was one thing in particular. Water from Angel. Yeah, so this one is a weird one. You can't really tell what to do here until you wait.
The acolyte leaps
so you wait
up,
long enough.
furious at being interrupted. A large chest has been stashed in this remote spot. Basically what has happened is that Acolyte, when he dies, will teleport you to another plane that is a mirror image of the one we were on, but it's like fire everywhere and just really nasty looking. They just pulled this lever that let this gate down. If you flip sides elsewhere in the dungeon, this gate will still be up and there's no way to open it from the other side. So by killing that Acolyte over here, we flipped over to this side, and now we have this chest. But it is locked. Some chests you can open through spells, or if you're a rogue. But this will tell me I can't unlock the chest with this spell, which means I have to have the key. There's only a few chests in the game that are like that, per dungeon. But that means we have to figure out what we have to do next. So, looking at my map, it is telling me we need to go that way where Nick's headed and go south. Basically, if we do this in order, we will get the key we need and be able to open that chest and get some nice rewards for it. Kind of. Where'd you go? I'm coming to you. Alright, we gotta go south. Oh, you fell down. Okay. Well, we might cheat here. So, this dungeon, there's two mechanics. One is you kill the Acolyte and it'll teleport to the other side. The other way is to destroy his the other side, you don't want to teleport back again, so and honestly, at the rate we're going, I don't think we'll be able to get the key we need for that chest. Alright, let me see where we're at. Let's see, we're here. This is one of the areas we need to make it. So, key is in Fire the torches and confront the Guardian.
Yeah, but let's do the other one. Let's see. Never mind, we can't go. We're already stuck here, so yeah, we're gonna make the most of what we got. So let's see. What he's mentioning, we need to light these on fire. Now, go ahead and do a firewall if you can. Not all spells are gonna work, so we need a specific, not a very specific, but like yeah,
you will call on me again, and soon.
Fire spells. So I'm going to use my wand of fireball because I don't have the actual spell fireball, but I have a wand of it so I can cast it a few times. It's not as strong as if you had the spell. I do that. Both of these torches are lit. I can do it again over here.
A flame flares to life, bringing the Guardian with it.
Even in death, this Guardian endures. Seek him out.
So we get little clues like that when we defeat certain things. They'll tell us, like, we killed it, but not really, kind of like situation. Nick's gonna go for easy game. Not do everything. Oh, well, this portal's broken, so we can't use that portal right now. This will regenerate eventually, but we're gonna find another portal.
This hallway is unobstructed here in the Inferno. A wall of flame prevents further progress to the west.
Can't go any further this way, so we have to figure out another way around. So let's see, we can try to go this way. So I'm certainly go this way.
4 torches are arranged around the base of this shattered chamber.
Chamber, we can climb up that side, so... We will be...
This wall is curiously devoid of flame.
Oh, yep. Okay, we can flip around to this side on this one. So this will be like an easy one to get over. So the theme is So as enemies defeated version of reality, they have undead forms show up.
The torches call out for flame,
says the mysterious voice.
So now we're going to be here. If I can find it again.
You will call on me again, and soon.
So let's do that. Get you lit. And then do that.
As the torch flames rise, so too does the flame's guardian.
Fire element. Get some ice in there.
the Guardian's flame has gone out,
Says the voice.
but it has been rekindled in the Inferno.
Lift yourself. Wounds are making a mess.
Fire automatically cast which isn't showing up on the screen where that one is. And I lose all the Fs. So I gotta do that all over again. But yeah, so after a while the portal eventually will. Yeah, because we're gonna take it here. So now we're on this side here.
extinguish the torches to summon him again.
Next to me right now, these blue flames, they can only be put out with ice spells. So he's using some ice spells to put these out. When these are gone, we will see the undead.
As the last torch goes out, the undead flame guardian appears.
He shall not be thwarted!
Three more must fall.
Says the voice.
Then I will appear to you.
So that's sort of this whole thing of this dungeon is basically light the torches, the fire elemental, flip to the side, put out the blue torches, fight the undead version. Do that for 5 times. Go this way because flipping to the other side on that part leads to a dead end. Remember, right, there's going to be a few traps going this way.
A key lies just beyond this sealed door.
Doesn't matter anymore, just lost the chance to use that one.
All night to buff out the dent I just received!
And Nick is opting to think about resurrecting
Finally! Let's get back to it, shall we?
Alright, so now we can do... Alright, so we can see each time we get this training day. Yeah, we can take out this portal over here. As these portals damage, we have a chance.
This portal glows with an infernal heat.
Alright, so now... Oh, we have to stay away from this portal and destroy it from a distance, and that will cause the dudes to come out. One way other spell grab. It's unique because there's no scroll that gives it. It's only you can only get it through skill tree. And it's notable because it holds the enemy in place, does damage, and distance is very far. Plus, you can do it all. That should cause these guys to be frustrated. Eventually. Let me just double check what it says. Let's see. Destroy the portal from range to draw the acolyte's attention and to avoid being teleported to the Inferno side, yeah. Yeah, we can start from here without teleported. Yep, they're getting
An acolyte in a distinctive robe patrols the hallway.
Alright, now we got some zombies. So despite Nick's best efforts, we actually wound up getting the key we needed. So from here, let's find. So I see where the coordinates are. I don't think we went this way yet.
When the torches burn, the Guardian will appear.
Those wounds are making a mess.
So I do have a petrify-like ability where I can turn people to stone, but it's a fortitude save, so against more melee-type people, it doesn't usually work. They're usually vulnerable to things that are more mental, where they have to save. So we have two of these open, so I'm going to do the last one here of the torches.
You will call on me again, and soon.
The Guardian roars to life, summoned by the torches.
Seek out the undead Guardian in the Inferno.
Says the voice.
They lack stamina.
Yeah, so there's a firewall right here on the other side, so we couldn't have made it to here, so we're gonna have to probably try... Let me look at the map. There's a portal to the north we could try. You gotta go this way to get there. And in the dungeons there's these little collectibles here that give you crafting ingredients. Alright, yeah, so we can't get there from here either. So we're gonna have to go this way, which is also a dead end, so we're pretty much trapped here. Unless we go this way to the south. Let me look at the south and see. Yeah, there's a What is that? Yeah, that's a two-way portal, so we can try that one and see if it'll work.
The western exit from this chamber has collapsed into rubble.
Yeah, so as you go throughout the parts that have fallen into disrepair. Basically trying to clue you in on ways to solve the different puzzles.
A passage to the west leads out of this infernal chamber.
So this is the area we would normally need to go, but we can't make it through this. So we're gonna have to find another way to. Let's see what's going on over there. Is this one lit? No. Well, we're down here anyway, so I guess we can try to find. It looks like. Let's see. That is to the west, so we want to be on the western side of the Fall Mountain once we've flipped over. That's a dead end. This will branch out. Let me see. This might be our way to get to the other side.
Your friends are careless with their lives.
Oops. So we can try and go this way. I think, yeah, we'll flip over here when I get lucky. Alright. Nope. We got rubble this way.
Those wounds are making a mess.
What I've done here is health. Turned off my stance so I can prepare myself. Keep myself alive. Because I'm running on anything right now. Let's do door. So we're gonna do a return using a spell to go back to the dungeon, plus we have a restaurant here. Now our hires really want us to go take out the enemies that are over there.
Don't tarry too long. Our destiny
That's the
awaits.
notable thing with this dungeon. I believe this is the only rest shrine in the dungeon, so it's kind of unforgiving. Situation. all their mana back. Nyx used some of his spell points to buff us because once you rest, you lose any remaining spell points you have. I'm going to see if I can summon... Nope. It wants 2 minutes before I can summon my owlbear again. Unfortunately, I had to send him away because I didn't have a way to heal him at the white lioness. It's not as strong as the owlbear, but it has good reflex saves. Alright, so we really want to do that east shrine, so I gotta see how does that work. So 19 is where? On the Inferno side. So where's 18? 18 is up there. Okay. Pick up the key. 17 is a NPC. And then it's telling me 18. Where's that at? Pick up the key. We got, so you're on the Inferno side when you pick up the key. And then you go right to 19, flip around. Okay. So we have to be on the Inferno side and then flip. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, I think I know what to do. So we have to go north and over this way. Now, aggro here that will reduce my aggression and my spell.
Next time, try to find us some better help.
So we keep breaking all these things because in video you get this whole entire thing of experience you're going to get out of the dungeon. If you break enough things, you'll get a bonus, kind of like how it says persistence bonus here. You get a bonus for breaking a certain number of objects in the dungeon, so that's why we keep breaking things. Alright, so we need to get to the Inferno side. Let's see, so it's telling me to go this way. Let's just draw him out over here and fight him. Okay, so we're going this way, we're going to go south, and it's saying if we go this way. Right here, now we gotta go here. Yep. Oh, these are the... No. So this, when we lit these, we fought the fire elemental. We need to flip to the other side. So let's see. That says 20. So 19, or excuse me, 21 is very far south. And then we do 22, and then back to 23. Okay. So let's go that way.
The Acolyte turns to attack. We'll descend to the Inferno together!
Next time, try to find us some better help.
Alright, perfect. We're now where we need to be. We can pull this grate open. And we can go... Let me see. Yeah, we'll use use this to flip sides, and I think that'll put us where we need to be. 22 is over here. So we need to go here for some reason. But these torches, we didn't light these torches yet. Yeah, let's not fall down. So let's see, I'll try to do this one. Well. Yeah, no, it's fine. Alright, so let's just kill all these things and see what happens. Yeah, no, we need to go this way. Okay, well this is another way to get there.
The torches still burn, the voice says. Put them out and the Guardian will return.
So Nick is using an undocumented ability.
As the torches darken, a strange chill fills the room. The undead Flame Guardian has returned.
As he says. So one notable thing about the way my structure is they acid spell. So one of them is the game that are resistant or immune to
2 have fallen. 2 remain.
energy damage. But mine specifically has the ability to have this earth elemental stance on. If I damage them with an acid spell that they are immune to, they don't take damage for the first amount of damage. But every, like for a few seconds, and it keeps a debuff going, they start to take damage from acid, even if they're normally immune to it, which is a very rare and very good ability to have. So, one of the advantages to the build I have. I lose versatility, but I gain a lot of benefit in terms of maximizing my potential. To do the West Guardian on the other side, so we can't get there right now. Let's see, so that one should be easy to get to. Yep, flip-flop, flip-flop. The South Guardian, I think, won't be too much trouble either. Alright, so let's go do the South one first, because that'll be on the other side anyway. Now, one noticeable difference between the way Nick has built his arcane caster and mine is very much just pure spellcasting, whereas he has, with his Splash and Monk, meaning he's got one, how many levels you said Monk? 2 levels a monk? He's able to,
An intriguing little bauble.
he definitely take more damage than me, but he's got more melee defenses to melee damage than I do. I definitely am not a frontline fighter. I can't stand being... Yeah, normally he shouldn't be, but that's one of the things with DDO is that you can customize your character in such a way that they can kind of fake it in a way. Do you mind de-dooring? I think we can cheat it if we... We need to go south. Oh, it looks like we're going to get a straight shot there. Cool.
Those wounds are making a mess.
High damage out of the caster with not the best gear is that I draw a lot of threat. the South Flame Guardian, let me double check. So I guess it's below us. Because we're right where we need to be. But it feels like there's a lower level, so we can try circling around. Sure, you go ahead and navigate. Yeah, no, just follow your nose. So one of the challenges with hirelings is they're aggressive, they want to attack things, especially like stationary objects can do damage. And the other thing too is that
Very good.
when they do an area of effect heal, it has a long cast time, so they'll kind of just sit there trying to cast it when you really need them to do something really quickly. Yeah, I guess it's so yeah, he saved them. Alright, yeah, we can destroy this portal.
Ignite the flames to ignite the Guardian.
The voice rasps.
You will call on me again, and soon.
The Guardian erupts into the room as the final torch bursts into flame.
What I'm doing there is I'm taking the wand fireball out of the inventory, using it in casting.
Go to the Inferno and find this Guardian's remains,
Says the voice.
I'm gonna see if we can get there the way we came. clear, we need to get approach from the east to get to that. I'm curious how far we can get this way. That's a dead end. And this is going to be a dead well, actually, no.
Darken the torches and summon the guardian.
Anyway. The good thing about Ireland is some they save.
The torch winks out, and an undead cinder spawn appears.
Defeat one more to complete the ritual.
Says the voice.
You do have to be able to save Ireland a little bit, but there are some advantages. Some enemies in dungeons, especially if you're doing, well, actually only if you're doing elite difficulty, as you enter the crown, they're called champions. They are a stronger version. They don't have like red names or anything like that, but they all generally have like unique abilities. Oh, we need to go this way. Well, look at you, Nick. You wound up taking us exactly where we needed to go anyway. Oh. Sort of. We gotta flip one more time? Yeah, we gotta flip one more time. That's weird. Oh, wait. No, we're good. Okay, we need to do the South Guardian. Alright, I'm just like getting all confused. Now, let me see, are both of these paths blocked off? Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna have to flip. There's a res shrine over here, and an acolyte, so we can try flipping it over here.
The acolyte leaps to his feet and attacks.
Use the other shrine. Not the red shrine, but there should be a nearby portal to the other side. I can open. Rest shrine in the dungeon. The other side on the normal realm is a resurrection shrine, which means only if you die, you can yeah, so Nick's busy. You should bring up the other if you can. Get into where it says the restaurant log, basically. But, okay, yeah. Now he decides to run. Sometimes you have that issue where you tell them to do something and they are a little bit resistant. Oh, did you give me buffs? I haven't rested yet. I'm not. I'm gonna use this as an emergency rest, though. I have enough spell points for the rest of the dungeon. Yeah. Yeah. I like the theme, but this dungeon definitely is a bit of a pain. All right, let's see if we can finish this off. So now we're on this side. We need to get all the way to the south. But we know it's an eastward approach. So we're gonna this way. But it's basically a little more than double effective, the effectiveness. There's a lot of spells like that in DDO as buffs go, where there's like a stronger version and a weaker version. Alright, so now we gotta figure out how we're gonna flip to the other side. We should probably check the center and see if there's a way to go south, but I don't think you can. Perfect. So. Speaking of the bonus I talked about for damaging items, we've only gotten enough to get the what's known as the mischief bonus. There's different tiers.
The fourth undead guardian appears before you.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're gonna get that completed, but we at least get an 8% bonus, so that's something.
Go to the center of the inferno, says the voice. I await you there.
Alright, now the boss has basically told us be on the Inferno side, which we are, and go to the center. So
Sinus appears in answer to your summons.
I cannot help you,
The Cinder Spawn says.
I must destroy you. She has commanded it.
The Cinder Spawn falls without making any mention of the Black Abbot. Perhaps someone else controlled the creature?
That's okay. I say that Nick was asking where we go for the stupid chest, meaning the one that we went and spent all the time on. So the problem is, I died a couple of times, and unless you pick the key back up, we have lost the key. I don't think I have it in my inventory. So that's the one thing is, like, quest items in the instance to the dungeon, when you die as a character, because your party has to be able to pick that item up and try and complete the dungeon with it, they drop. So you have to make sure when you die, you have someone pick it up, but in the middle of the chaos, we did not do that, so we are not going to be able to get the chest. So now we're going to recall out of the dungeon, which we'll say finish, and buy, sell, repair. And that is a wilderness area and a dungeon all in one. At this point, I am probably going to take a small break and be back for food. But we'll probably pick this up after I get back. I will, for now, just leave it on the current screen. Alright, we're back. So, Nick and I are getting ready to do a different area. We're going from an undead theme to a pirate theme. We're going to do a quest he likes to do a lot. We repeat it quite a bit. Just due to how quick it is to do it versus the amount of XP you get, plus all the bonuses. And there's a chance to get what's known as a legendary item that's actually really quite good. So, there's a lot of ways you can resurrect people in the game, but there's not a lot of ways you can bring yourself back. So, with, like, you know, a healer of some kind can res people using a resurrection spell, and spellcasters like, you know, the wizard and the sorcerer can take scrolls with UMD and use those. Rogues can too. Rogues usually get UMD, so they can use different scrolls of different kinds, even though they can't normally cast spells. Yeah, and if you die and you have no one else to res you, you can get cash shop items that will resurrect you, but they're pretty pricey and generally not recommended to rely on them too much, because either you're going to spend a ton of money, real world cash, doing it, or you won't have them when you need them. So, ooh, charisma 12. Ooh, it's transmutation though. There are a few items in the game, or abilities, that you can activate only when you're dead, that usually bring you back in some form or another. Monks, for example, is a specific type of monk that gets 1 charge per rest. If they activate it, it's a free resurrection for them. If they rest, they get that charge back again, but once they've used it, they can't use it until they rest. The rare item that in the dungeon that Nick and I are about to do brings you back as a spectral form. Now, does that allow you to use scrolls to res yourself? Huh? Okay. So, yeah. It doesn't let you resurrect yourself, but it does bring yourself back that you can resurrect your hireling to res you, or you can have more time to get to a shrine. How many seconds is it? 30? For Jack Jibber's Blade? So yeah, it's 1 minute, which normally you only get like 10 seconds away from your soulstone. I'm going to keep my Wand of Fireball because it's coming in handy for those quests. There's not a ton of quests that are like that where you have to use special spells to light things on fire. Usually just any old fire will do. But now, I'm doing my, buy, sell, repair phase here. Nick does it the right way. If he sees an interesting item like these, I'm going to keep just because I might be able to use them on another character. I need to put them in my account bank. But he normally will sell things on the market board / auction house, make a lot of money off that. That's part of why I usually don't have the same inventory problems. I could probably make some money off of this gear, but I'm not on here often enough for me to really do it that aggressively. You do have to repair. Unfortunately, you can't repair your own gear. Normally, you would repair on... In my situation, I would repair on the guild ship because it's less chance of permanent damage, but we have... And Nick is mentioning that... Wait, you took repair damage from the blacksmith? Oh man, so yeah, Nick's saying he had a rare item that took permanent damage, which I don't think I have anything that shows what that looks like. But you'll see that blue bar there. That's actually a health bar for the item. If it has a red spot on the right-hand side, which will grow steadily over time, that is permanent damage and cannot be repaired outside of very, very special circumstances. I think there is a cash shop item to do it, but yeah, it's just one of those, like, you gotta be very careful about. Another thing too, if you take massive damage from something, some of your consumables have a chance of being destroyed, which is quite frustrating. So right now I'm just looking for the airship. And that's with that little anchor icon down there, so I can just right-click it. And it will show up on my map as that sort of off-white icon color. This is... So this city is set up into different houses. This is House Fjarlin, which is an elven race's house. Their homeland is on a continent over across the ocean. This is like a multicultural... This game is set on a continent that has a lot of multicultural things going on, and some certain dungeons will take you to other parts of the globe, which, if I go out here, this is a map of the region that we're in. And we're getting a rendition of the Dance 1 emote as I do the superior Dance 2 emote, or no, that's Dance 1. Here we go. It's objectively better. Yeah, the dance emote, as in 14, changes depending on which race you're in. I think. There are quite a few races in the game. Alright, so now we're going to head to Witsmo's 3-barrel cove. That will give us access to that quest. Now, one thing I need to make sure I do, and I have Erythea. Who do you have for your hire? I can switch to... You have him? Nick is professing his fondness for Garand as a hireling, which is the one I was using. His AI is a little better. He usually makes smarter decisions than the one he has. So he and I are essentially trading. But that's okay. And that's a notable thing, is that each player can... Only one instance of a hireling, like, of a named hireling, can be in a dungeon at a time. Where is it at? It's Fearless Frida that gives the quest, right? Okay. So in DDO you can redo any quest. That's what this blue icon with the little repeating arrows on it means. Well, not every quest, but just about every quest. So now we like to do this usually once per login. Sort of like a roulette, but not really. And that's the thing with DDO, is it has no queue system, there's no roulette to speak of, which is a major shame. This game could really use it. So this is a challenge rating of 25, level 25. And I am 29, and Nick is 29 right now, but he can level to 30 at any time. I'm not worried about the wilderness area, but we'll have to see for... So Nick is concerned that the quest we're looking at doing might not give us any experience, but we're going to find out. And One thing to note for D&D in general is that CR, or challenge rating, is not the same thing as level.
The Weeping Cove is rumored to be a resting place of Two-Toed Tobias, an ancient three-barrel legend.
Challenge rating has to more do with the difficulty rating of the encounter, and the... I think you picked normal. Yeah, you picked epic normal. We can do it hard at least. Sure. So when you leave a dungeon, if you go back into it, you get an experience.
The Weeping
re-entry
Cove
penalty,
is
but you can
rumored to
reset
be
the
a
dungeon
resting
by clicking
place
on
of
it,
Two-Toed
and clicking on
Tobias,
reset.
an ancient three-barrel legend.
Alright, so Nick and I accidentally went on the wrong difficulty. Like you can see here, you can choose which kind. You have the heroic version of the quest, you have the epic version. He's going to go on epic elite. Reaper is a very distinct, high, ridiculously high challenge rating. Elite is difficult, but it's a big jump between elite and Reaper. It gets incrementally harder as you go, but elite, I normally avoid dungeons on elite because I usually can't handle them by myself, but Nick has the right builds and things to do that usually with his help we can survive the dungeon. This one is particularly difficult. So the theme in this one is you've been here before. Been a heroic version of this quest, besides an epic version. We're doing the epic version. The first time you come here, you bump into... Was he in, like, a ghost form? I think he was. So, there's this entity called Jack Gibbers, and basically you encounter a version of him in the heroic version of the dungeon, and you're basically trying to defeat him to lay claim to his treasure. I think in the first dungeon there is no treasure, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a very small treasure pile. It's not the treasure you're looking for. So with the epic version, you're back, and you've got a rumor that...
You are not the first to visit since the days of Two-Toed Tobias. The magic runes indicate that a powerful spell was cast here recently, creating a vast air bubble inside the underwater cave.
Yeah, so, again, the story is kind of like that. You've been here before, and now you're trying to find the real treasure. But there are new enemies here compared to the old ones. The old ones, it was like a bunch of human pirates and other races too, I think. Kobolds, yep. But now, there's a bunch of these guys, and this is the interesting thing. So, if you kill enough enemies of a kind, you can get their stats, like their HP, their CR level. And if I go to examine, I can see that it shows that it's an undead kobold. Name Curse, and let's see, Epic Resilience. I think the charmed enemy is getting your buffs, some of your buffs because it shows them buff bar. And so yeah, you can also see the buff bars when you examine. Fortunately for me, these enemies do a lot of damage.
Small, fetid creatures shuffle about in the gloom as if they were looking for something.
Yeah, so in the current version there was a lot of living kobolds, and in the Eternals kobolds were these like lizards, mini miniaturized lizardy people looking things. But they are they're definitely goofy creatures normally.
A hole in the ground leads to another part of the cave.
Yeah, Wezzo's ridiculous. But we got some more first
Enemies are dead. destined to fall!
Alright, so the thing to note here, before he pulls that lever, which he probably will anyway, you see there's a stalagmite above us. It's not really noteworthy, but
As the valve turns,
Oh, okay, that
the
one-
sound of a
alright, so one of
stone
these levers is
door
trapped.
grinding
It's got-
open rebounds through the cave.
yeah. So Nick's gonna show me which one it is. But yeah, so this dungeon, Inferno of the Damned had
An
its own
intriguing little
traps,
bauble.
but this one has a distinct assortment of traps in it. More traditional video style traps. We got more kobolds here. I mean, these guys are we're killing them because of reverse casters. But if you get a group of them on you, you're gonna
The stiff wind that blows from the
Oh, okay.
east has
So
no natural cause.
This is kind of a trap, not really. It does a lot of damage. I will die if I walk through that. So now, basically, what we have to do is find a way to turn this off. Most likely, there's some kind of lever,
Stand in my way!
weird puzzle.
Suffer the consequences!
Now, yeah, this one is notable. You can see those stalactites in there, and they're really hard to make out if you're just kind of running in here. So when Nick's character pulls that, you're going to see
The wind from
They
the
fall down,
east
but-
dwindles and
Yeah.
dies.
he's got a pretty good trap dodging prowess as far as his stats go, so he usually doesn't have to worry about that. As you break certain things, sometimes they drop things like money by a small amount, and they'll drop loot occasionally, but it's usually minor loot. Cast a new spell. May not do anything. Acid Rain is kind of like the Acid Arrow, which is a single target, but it does area of effect. So if they walk through it, they get a very short duration damage over time. So if they walk out of it, they're still getting
Welcome to your doom!
damage box. But it's actually a pretty good spell. Nick would remind me, though, that the best Cloud-esque spell is Cloud Kill, which I do have.
Splendid!
Doesn't really work here because of the undead. So, Acid Rain is that AoE you kind of see. Oop. So if you aggravate too many enemies at once in a dungeon, dungeon alert, and the higher the alert, the worse it is for you and your party. Green is mild, yellow is bad, orange is really bad, and red is why did you get it to red? It makes the enemies get more abilities. Like, I think yellow, they start parrying you, where they slow you down. Red, they become more attentive. It's harder to sneak past enemies, which you can do in certain dungeons. This is going to be fun. This is sarcastically fun. This is a named enemy, a vampire overlord, and he is very strong in this elite dungeon. So we will have to see how well or badly we fare against him. And I'm definitely going to activate that thing that reduces my threat. So we're just melting the gas. I didn't cast grease. Oh, he must have cast grease. Oh boy. Ooh. We got a lot of spells going on here. So, grease is this pool of oil that makes it very slippery and easy to fall. That little sparkling thing up in the sky is a, it's called a dancing sphere, and basically if you walk inside of the circle, you have to make a will save, and if you fail it, you start dancing, which is very bad, because enemies can easily just finish you off. Yeah, you're helpless. There's a whole family of dancing spells. There's that AoE, there's a single target, it's just they have to save. And then there's one that's a short duration, kind of like the blur versus displacement, that is a version of the spell they cannot save against. It's just, if they're impacted by it, they fail to save automatically. It's a shorter duration of the spell, though, but a very good one to have. Here, the Auto's Irresistible Dance only lasts for anywhere between 17 and 27 seconds. It randomly rolls some dice to figure out what the exact duration is. Grease, which is the oil. That one's interesting because when enemies step on it or allies, they can slip and fall. But if you light it on fire, it can be like an area of effect. So what I'm doing right now is I'm keeping
Your
the threat.
friends are careless with their
This
lives.
vampire lord, while the goes in from behind and tries to finish him off. Some of his spells will still hit me. So we were able to take him out. Usually we have a hard time with that guy. Usually some problems. There's a treasure chest here.
You can say what secrets this
We're going
contains.
after, we can skip some of these vampire guys, but if we kill them, we get a bonus to our experience. And I don't think it shows the line item for it, but it's... Oh yeah, slay. This will actually get much higher. And you get a lot of experience for each one you kill, I think. Right, Nick?
An intriguing little bauble.
So these are traditional traps. There's these jets of flame. You'll see these throughout DDO. They're a very common type of trap. We won't really get into how disabling traps works, because neither Nick nor myself are rogue, but there is a mechanic for turning traps off as a rogue, which is kind of fun. He has disabled... He's done a couple things here. So when he pulled that lever, there's jets of flame here. He pulled this lever, turned all the flame off. This chest was locked, and like I said before, some chests you have to have the key, but most of them you can unlock with either a lock-picking skill or the knock spell as a spellcaster.
Who can
and
say
he was able to
what
open it.
secrets this
We get what's
contains?
inside, and then we move on. We're fighting another vampire lord over here. We're trying to take out the first, and then we're losing focus on him. He's casting all kinds of nasty things. Like he's got the dancing sphere, he's got his symbol of pain, I think that is, which just does damage in an area. He cast something on me, I don't know what that was. And now he's aggressive against me. You tripped him. You tripped him. Did you use an actual spell? Oh yeah, you get the Shirati thing going on. Nick's epic tree that he's putting points into casts something on him or hits him, melee, there's a chance that he doesn't. And it actually worked on this guy. Most things the red what? Yeah, I think the monsters that are champions, yeah, has like red crown. Champions being those unique enemies. It's really just like a random buff.
A ship lies aground, down on the floor of this vast pit.
A champion is basically a monster that's expected to be in the dungeon, but he gets a random buff that makes him much stronger. You get HP. And this is the oh, he got stunned somehow. Oh! I didn't know vampires could be stunned. At least in a D&D context. Okay, so Nick's clarified he should not be able to be stunned, but likely his ability has special exceptions to it, as with all things with D&D. I saved against that dancing sphere. It wouldn't. Dancing by
Pipes
itself's not a problem,
groan
but it's
as
just,
the second valve triggers another door deeper inside the cave.
you definitely are helpless while you're dancing, so you gotta. It's very similar to being stunned, although being stunned's worse because damage is amplified while you're stunned against you. Alright, so we're actually pretty close to wrapping this up. I'm gonna actually go ahead and rest this room.
Don't tarry too long. Our destiny awaits.
So go here, go this way, and then go north. And then maybe so I had mentioned Cloud Kill. It doesn't really work in this dungeon because everything's open. Cloud Kill. There's a huge description here, but it does a light amount of acid damage. The big thing, though, is that it does stat damage. There are certain spells. There's 6 main stats in DDO, much like a lot of other MMOs. And in this game, you can take damage to your health, your spell points, but you can also take damage to your stats. And there's a lot of bad things that can happen if a particular stat goes to 0. Like if your constitution gets to 0, you die, period. And that's the thing with Cloud Kill is the enemies start taking constitution damage, and if their constitution gets down to 0, they're done. They're dead. With the acid, it's kind of a very, very light amount of acid damage. Most acid, or really elemental spells in the game that are purely just damage, scale per level of caster that you have on you. But Cloud Kill caps out pretty quick in that regard. It's really just the constitution. But because they don't have any constitution score, so Cloud Kill does not work on them. More practically, it's like they can't. So there's no way for
Welcome to your doom!
It's really strong against living targets. That's where you chain your spells together. If you have the dancing sphere, you can see the immune. I can do a dancing sphere, and I can do Cloud Kill, Firewall, Acid Rain underneath it, spells like that, and they can do
stuck dancing inside of something. Damage spell, which is a very effective way to take out large numbers of difficult enemies. Targeting is pretty important in DDO. My acid well denied water.
He shall not be thwarted!
Damage numbers per second.
On opposite sides of the room are levers adorned with bullseyes.
And we have ransack bonus, and we're getting a pretty good amount of experience, even at because this is coming into
The floor slides open,
a level,
revealing
let's say our
dark
25
waters
area, and we're
beneath.
level 29. So.
The door before you stands open as if you were
Okay,
expected.
so this is a big trick. When it mentions stuff like that, the door's wide open, you usually because the door's going to shut right behind you when you go in.
Jack Gibbers has beaten you to the cache.
Mida, the blood tide.
The undead pirate hastens.
It is said that they hide a priceless treasure here. Yet there's naught in this hole but common bauble. Not that you get your hands on those, you lover. Jack Gibbers leaves none behind to tell the tale.
Jack Gibbers, the Wraith of Souls. It is a corrupt advantage. Legendary pirate mode. He, under most circumstances, give you a very bad damage. He's casting very nasty spell. Stunning ads. We should be okay. Keep moving. I can see with DDO, there's no real tells of there's going to be an attack. You have to kind of just once an AoE spell gets cast, it's cast. I think Mr. Owlbear is actually not turned to stone. He's just paralyzed. If he was stoned,
Wounds are making a mess.
Nick is saying that he thinks that which he should recover from. I can tell he's not turned to stone, even though he looks like that, because he's just stone skin early, and he's rotating like that. Normally, if they're turned to stone, definitely have an aggro on this guy, and he asked me to stay in place, which I will, but I'm probably gonna die.
All night to buff out the dent I just received.
Nope, Ireland gets me. But when that happens, I also reset the threat, which is fine. I do lose an experience bonus for dying, but that's okay. When I'm running with Link, death is usually not through any direct fault of his own. It usually takes me through some pretty challenging missions.
You've defeated the legendary Jack Gibbers. Yet the pirate's legend claims the Wraith can never truly be destroyed until the weapon that slew him is broken. Inside the chest, you find a piece of Aratsri's treasure map, along with some other items.
Drown's Priest Torch is not... Seems pretty common, right? Ooh, he's right. Yeah. So in DDO, sentient items,
You will call on me again, and
cannibals, yes, they eat
soon.
other magic items to get stronger.
So I'm going to find that torch. I'm going to put it in here. You cannot consume a named item that has a regular augment slot. Oh, wait, let's see. No, let me read that again. Has a regular augment slot, so I would have to take that augment out of it. It has that red slot, Ruby of Devotion, and then that yellow slot, Topaz of Water Breathing. But that's okay.
You have made a wise decision. Our destiny awaits.
And, oh man, I am so close to level 30. That little sliver of purple in the bottom left there is all I have left.
The Weeping Cove is rumored to be a resting place of Two-Toed Tobias, an ancient three-barrel legend.
So Nick was asking about my XP, and as you can see, I have 8,000 XP before I can get to level 30, which is not... If you've... Some of the numbers have given some clue to that. It's not much at all. We could do, I guess, Orchard of the Macabre again? Or a different wilderness? Huh? Yeah, which area did you... wilderness did you want to do Slayer in? How can you tell? I know, but I mean, like, can you tell without going in? Yeah. So, yeah, just pick something random. I can tell you Stormhorns, I haven't done much. Alright, so we're going to go to another area. DDO mostly split up into two worlds. There is Eberron Stormreach, which is where we came from, the city. This is Three Barrel Cove, which is on the same continent. And then there's Forgotten Realms, and to get there, I can use this magical key. And you will see distinctly a big difference. So Eberron has like a lot of magical items being used as replacements for modern convenience, like trains and airships and like runes and all kinds of fun stuff. Whereas Forgotten Realms, not all worlds are created equal. Forgotten Realms is pretty primitive. Yeah, there's Ravenloft as well, which is a submodule that's more gothic in nature, but as you can see, just at a glance, Forgotten Realms, at least within Evening Star, much more medieval, classic fantasy look. So, got all sorts of those flying cat things. No, they're just all over the village, I just noticed that. Yeah, it's much more plain looking, but there is still plenty of magic afoot. It's just not out in plain eye. Until horrible things come and start casting it. Alright, so Nick and I are going to go into another wilderness area to bring me up to a level where I can level up to level 30. Now this is the one limitation of the teleport spell itself, is you cannot teleport between worlds. You can only teleport between planes and city locations. And in the context of DDO, when we're using the term world, it's not a formal name, it just means an entirely different universe of lore and story. DDO has come up with a convenient storyline that connects the two worlds together, which is how we're able to get here in the first place with these characters. Because reminding me to sell indirectly, so I'm going to do so. Make sure I have my hireling, because like I said, the contracts expire. I still have 33 minutes left, so I'm good. It would also remind me that there are things in the game you can get called hireling folders, where you can just take one inventory slot like this one, have a little folder there, you just drag and drop your contracts there for your hirelings, and no muss, no fuss. I'm a stubborn type and have not opted to get one. And he's saying that I'm stubborn being a caster that doesn't have teleport. Also that he has a barbarian that has UMD, use magic device, that can use teleport scrolls. And thus, his conclusion, there's no excuses to why I'm not using teleport scrolls beyond my own stubbornness. So I like Stormhorns. It's a more like a mountainous area, as you can see. The trees are different for the models that they used for it. It's just a pretty area and just nice to run around and, well, get Slayer bonuses. Nick is asking how close I am on my Slayers right now. I am 102 on Nature and 18 of 25 on Army. So it shouldn't take too long. Yep. So Nick's saying, we're going to try and go for the Slayers to get to cap, but we might also hit like a rare encounter or something else that will put us over as well. So there's Piper's Song, which sounds fun. Let me find where it is on the map. So you can see the little icon here. When there's little events on the map, it'll show up there. Unfortunately for me, this is a strong river, so I may be swept down river. That's another thing, is that the water effects are different here. This was like a later addition to the game. They did a really good job with that. So now we gotta do some dancing. Ready to dance? So they're basically asking you to dance, and we got let off easy. He's basically just saying, we're okay at dancing, we're not that good. If you do really bad, it's like a random chance. If you do really bad, he attacks you. And if you do really good, he gives you something special, but it's nothing super special, just kind of neat. Some bobble. And we got Embarrass, dance setting series. This one you don't have to, but if you get by them, they will attack you, so not as pleasant. Get hit by these guys. What? No, that's owlbears make the same noise as the griffins do. Nick was asking where the griffin was, and I'm like, well, there's no griffin. I'm gonna take advantage. Oh wait, I guess I can't target her. Yeah, she's already gone invisible. So dryads are interesting, being tree spirits. If you defeat one, it will not die. It actually goes to its tree, and then if you harm its tree while it's in there, it is permanently dead. Sort of like a phylactery, but a little different. Yeah, she'll do it. Huh? Sometimes the game bugs a little bit and you can outright kill a dryad when you're not supposed to, but...
By all the shadows of night! Not a single giant must be allowed to go blundering through the woodlands.
Less than 1,000
They will
XP.
carry their goods on through Tumber Rock Pass and then return to the mountain. Otherwise, I will make them into mice and see how they like it.
Some, yeah, we have to, unfortunately, take out the deer. Nice big lake. I don't think there's anything in it, but you can swim in it. Yeah. Honestly, just killing the army guys would do it. Satyrs. Right now what we're looking for is an invading army, because I only need to kill a few of them to get the area bonus.
Enemies are destined to fall!
Nice big group of enemies up there. And I am now ready to load. So now Nick and I are going to recall. In a second, he's doing something. No, do your emote. Oh, yeah, go ahead and teleport. Why don't you? So. Alright. So, leveling is interesting. It doesn't just happen. You gotta turn it in. You actually have to talk to somebody to level up. And there are epic trainers on both in Forgotten Realms as well as in Eberron. That's who this person is. First of all, I'm going to double check. I'm capped out on Shadow Dancer, which is interesting, so now I got to start doing another tree, which I'll explain in a second. First we're going to do this, we're going to talk to them, just tell them we want to advance to the next level. This is what it looks like for epic levels. Let's see, so I think I want to go for Emboldened Spell to get more damage. I've already taken the Master of Earth ability, which gives me a lot of bonuses to... That's a pretty big deal. That, like, for so Master of Earth already gives me this for acid spells, but Master of Air, you know, you get a +10 caster level to your Shocking Grasp, Electric Whip, and Lightning Bolt spells. Normally, when you get to a certain level, it tells you that you're at maximum level for bonuses to that. But this unlocks your epic spell levels that you get, so it makes your normal heroic spells much stronger. Ooh, Scion ability, but that's something different. Well spring power. I'm not going to overcomplicate things by going over all these different stats. And those are all the heroic. You can also choose if you want to take a heroic feat instead, but I will take Emboldened Spell. Maybe. I want to double check that. Epic Mental Toughness. Okay, no. Alright, so I'm all about this. Emboldened Spell lines up with these other ones. It's a meta magic feat. It makes my spells cost more, but it makes them more powerful in certain ways. So Quicken makes me cast faster. Heighten makes it so enemies have a harder time resisting my spells. Empower is just increasing damage. Maximize is another way it increases damage. And then Extend makes it so that the spell lasts twice as long. And then Intensify Spell is an epic version of the Empower. Embolden is a similar thing as well. Oh, I know that increases DC, so that's like Heighten actually. But I'm going to need that. So now I just get to choose this class feat, which is going to be one of these bad boys. Now, I need one that's an increase to my conjuration. I just got to find out which one it is. Ooh, Scion of Plane of Earth. Yeah, that's what I need. That's its spell power. Yep, adds 2d20 acid damage to weapon and unarmed attacks. Yeah, no, that's what I'm looking at, is the legendaries. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and probably take the, wow, these are some really strong abilities. But yeah, Scion and Limbo is fun because it's a random effect, and there's a chance that you get like a buff for a minute, and once it expires, it becomes another buff, and it just rotates. There's a chance one of them is just confetti for a minute. You just have this confetti animation that happens. But usually you get a pretty strong buff. But for this character, he's a very specific build. So I'm going to go ahead and do Plane of Earth. And it just tells me the things I get. I get a Fate Point, I get Epic Skills, which is a +1 to all my skills. Epic Power, which is just a general stat boost all around, no matter what your build is. Click Finish. And now I am level 30. Normally, I would do a reincarnation at this point, but Nick and I have yet to explore some of the level 30 content, so we're going to probably do that on our next time that we stream this stuff. But I'm going to probably call it here. We've gotten a few dungeons done. I've gotten up to max level, so doing pretty good. Alright, catch you guys next time.